Ah, what song is this? It's really good.
Oh, it's an underground artist.
Yeah,
Band
no
I'm really
kidding.
I'm really familiar with. What's happening? I didn't even plan that. That just came up randomly.
Oh,
I
what's
don't
up,
even
you
ha
bomber?
I don't even have yeah, yeah. I don't even have premium Spotify, so I can't even pick the song I want to listen to.
I don't either. I gave that up.
You gave it up
Yeah.
intentionally?
Well, because they don't pay, they are, I don't know, because because I'm egotistical enough to think that my $10 a month affects their bottom line.
Yeah, yeah. Because what do we
Yeah.
get like point 0.3 cents of a cent
Oh,
every
yeah,
play?
it's 0.006 cents a stream was last I checked,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
which is bonkers.
Right. So you should start seeing some royalties for those audiobooks anytime now.
Yeah, yeah,
Up
okay.
to about 11, 12 plays on some of them. So man,
It's almost like you got to put your stuff up on Spotify and iTunes and all that just for your own ego because it costs more money to put it up than you make.
I know, I know. I'm trying to
Yeah,
go
as
the
you know, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm trying to go the underground route. Just like put my books up, my audiobooks out there like mixtapes.
Yeah, that's a good idea, but hopefully it works.
Takes
I don't know, buddy.
yeah, I don't know. What else do I got to do? I can't like I mean, promoting on social media like can suck my dick. I hate it.
I know, I feel the same way. I absolutely hate it. It makes me sick anymore. And I used to enjoy it because I used to have fun with it. And then when you have fun with it, I think is when you see the actual results.
Yeah.
So you almost have to you have to enjoy it. And I need to get back to that place because I feel like I don't promote nearly enough of anything I do.
No, no, that's not yeah. You have to make it fun, but that part's just no fun. Like it
I
just
know it's just I feel so cheap and
yeah.
lame and
Come love me, please.
yeah, it's such pick me energy.
I know, I know, but it's just like if you just, I mean, if you build it, they will come,
I suppose.
but you just got to be patient. It takes a lot of fucking time.
You know what, John? You know what I should do? I was thinking about this, and now that you bring it up, I think this is the move. I'm gonna make myself a calendar of social media posts. I'm just gonna sit down and make a calendar of it, and then I'll just have like a checklist every day or every other day of what I'm supposed to post and just do it.
Yeah, yeah, just get it out of the way, and then you don't have to think about it.
Yeah, take all the creative energy out of it and just do it like a spreadsheet or something.
Yeah, or you know what I was thinking about doing? It's like separating it. Like I have my books are in seasons, but I have like writing seasons. Like I try and do it every 4 months where I finish something and then move on to the next and then
Yeah.
come back and edit it and like so on and so forth. But I want to separate like the creative time from like the promotional time. So like in my free time while I'm deep in a project, I can make some fun social media posts and then like save them, just like stockpile them up. And so then and then you can just release them clinically like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. See, now we're thinking. This is money talk, dude.
Yeah, yeah, there we go. Pro tips, you're getting inside baseball today.
Hmm.
You're welcome, all 49 now followers on Spotify.
Yeah, that's okay.
We're
There's
up,
people
man. It
they
used to be,
listen on other platforms too.
yeah, yeah, but it's moving up. You can't help but to look. But
I always get nervous promoting. I'm like, wait, do I want people to listen to me sound like an idiot?
yeah, yeah. Oh, that was me last time with how fucking hammered I was.
That was an editing process.
Yeah, yeah. I stammered, I stuttered, I repeated myself, I went on too long. It
Ah,
was,
you're all right.
yeah, but it was fun to watch. Like it was still funny.
Yeah, yeah, it was a good episode.
There was one part, like I cut out me rambling, but when we were talking about The Blind Side, and
Uh-huh.
then Corey was just sitting there with the mic waiting for me to like signal him to go as I'm trying to find out this thought that I have no idea what I'm thinking about. And it's just like, finally, it's like, thank you. Yeah, I know about this story. Let me talk.
I love it. Well,
Uh,
Corey's good. He's gotten really podcasting, from what I've learned, is kind of like a skill. You do have to do it a bunch to learn. Because like the American style of listening is very active. We're very active listeners, so we're like
hmm
always saying, yeah, uh-huh, yeah, sure, right. And it
Yeah.
doesn't lend itself to podcasting sometimes, especially over Zoom when there's
No,
delay.
no. Yeah, yeah. I was just about to say the delay.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's definitely there's nothing much we can do about it until I come up there. But like, it's definitely better person to person. But it's an art. I mean, in the same room. But it
Hmm.
isn't. But it is an art form, man. Like it's. I don't know. Like there are some podcasts that are very like themed and have bullet points and whatever, and they have an agenda they want to push. But like,
Yeah, I don't want
I,
to do that.
no, no. I think the art of the podcast is the hang.
The hang.
And so, like, yeah, you got to make it sound like, or it's got to feel like they're at home, they're in the conversation with you. It's like, oh, yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, I mean, that's the kind of podcast that I enjoy.
Hmm.
Like Joe Rogan Experience, Flagrant 2 with Andrew Schultz. Like, those are like hang podcasts to where it's like, oh man, yeah, I can't hang with my boys right now, but this feels like I'm hanging with my boys. Like,
Yeah,
we think the same, like, yeah, yeah. It's just, it's good. Love
I
the art
like
of the podcast.
I've been listening to Bad Friends lately with Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino, and that's a really funny podcast.
Oh, I've listened to that one a couple times.
Oh my God, Bobby Lee is like might be my favorite comic.
Yeah, he's great. And I mean, yeah, speaking of underground, like he's kind of an underground legend. Like he's done a couple movies and he did Mad TV, but like
Yeah,
he's just been a working comic for
yeah,
20, 30 years probably now.
yeah. Funny man. I could never do it.
Never do stand up?
Yeah, I could never do it. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, yeah.
What's
I'd
new
s-
down south?
oh man. Nothing much new down here. No news is good news, man. Like I've been just getting back in my routine and writing a lot, man. Like it felt good today. Like I enjoyed I like this I like our early morning podcast. It's 10 a.m. here where I
Yeah,
am. Yeah, we're sipping coffee instead of beer like last time. Uh
yeah. I like the
well,
coffee cast.
yeah, yeah. And it's just like it helped me stay disciplined to my routine of like getting all these things done. Like if I do a certain list of things in the morning, like I am more present and at ease throughout the day. It's
Yes.
almost like I don't know, like taking your vitamins. Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, I didn't do that this morning.
oh, eat your vitamins. Oh, but it reminds me of my favorite quote ever. But first, eat your eggs.
What's that from?
Well, I mean, Stephen King quoted it in his memoir on writing, but
Yeah.
it's from A Raisin in the Sun.
Oh,
Have you ever seen that movie or read that book?
huh.
Oh man, it's so great. Uh, I watched it. I mean, I had to watch it like probably a dozen times. Like when I was out in California taking care of my uncle with esophageal cancer.
Uh-huh.
Like he was, he is an old TV kid too, but like he had his comfort movies, and that was one of them. Like we watched that shit like every day.
Mm.
But it's this scene in the beginning, like where Sidney Poitier is like talking to his wife about like these big dreams and all he wants to do and accomplish, and like there's this inheritance money that's supposed to be coming. And like they live in the house with his mother, their daughter, whatever. Like their father
Mhm.
died. Yeah, just a quick backstory. Their father died or something, so there's like inheritance money coming, and he's talking about all these big dreams, and she's just like, "Yeah, but eat your eggs." And it's like,
Right.
I'm talking to you about changing our life, and you want me to eat. You're talking about eggs, and it's like, but
Ooh, there's some philosophy there.
yeah, but it's
And
true though. Like, I get what he was saying because like I don't care. Like, I don't fucking care about eating when I'm in my zone when I'm fixated
yeah,
on something. It's like it's just fuel to me. I
Right.
enjoy the taste of food, but like if I'm doing something else, I could care less.
Isn't that funny? I'm like that too. I could
Yeah,
eat whatever. I don't care about food if I'm in the zone.
yeah,
And it's funny too, because it's like you could go like 8 hours without eating and not know it. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, why am I dizzy?
right. It's like, oh shit, no water, no
Yeah. Oh, I've
food.
only had 3 cups of coffee and half of an eaten apple that's brown now.
Yeah, yeah. But like to her point, but first, eat your eggs. Like if you eat first, you're gonna be fine through that when you fly for 8 hours. You
Right.
know, if you do all the things like my things, um, journal a little bit, like been having super active dreams, but and vivid too. Like I'm almost able to control myself in there. But like it's another pod.
Lucid dreaming. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like it's getting yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna get sidetracked if I talk about that. Uh
All right.
but just like info dump in the morning, just quick journal, 20 minutes or like until you're tired, until you got nothing to think about.
Yeah.
I do a little 10-minute Kundalini routine, the breath work and shit, and like tuning in the chakras and everything, and just like, yeah, it's a vitamin. You meditate a little bit, exercise, make a make a smoothie,
Oh, that's
because
good.
that's a smoothies are perfect for people that don't care about eating. Because I get all my nutrients in the morning. Like I get all these fruits and vegetables and all this shit. I don't have to worry about it. Like I might eat like shit for the rest of the day, but at least I did that.
Very nice.
I can work on eating better throughout the day, but at least I know
Yeah.
I got that win in the morning. Like I've got all these
I've found too that waking up and being healthy first thing, like if eat like being healthy right away makes you healthy throughout the day too, because you don't want to ruin it. You're more
yeah,
mindful of that. Like if I get up and work out and I eat like 3 eggs and an apple, that's usually what I eat for breakfast, and a little
yeah,
bit of granola. That's a good breakfast.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then you go through the day, you're like, do I want pizza? I could finish a full day of being healthy
Yeah, I've
just
got
have
this
like a chicken
momentum
breast and
going.
vegetables,
Right.
and it is mindful. But if you wake up early and you're like, I'm gonna have a bagel, cream cheese, and whatever, glass of chocolate milk or something, and you're like, well, I guess whatever, I'll start over tomorrow. It's easier to be kind of
Yeah. And
defeatist.
yeah, yeah. And day in, day out, just keep doing that and it gets better and better. Like it's but I think so many people, and even me included, used to like I don't want to start because like it seems like too big. You got to work your way up to it.
Yeah.
It's my cigarettes and Jamba Juice theory.
Yeah. We talked. Yeah, okay. Expand upon this. Has this been on the podcast?
I mean probably. We've
We've
probably
talked
touched
about
on it.
Jamba Juice many times.
Yeah, yeah. Cigarettes and Jamba Juice. Like it may seem ridiculous. Like what's the point of drinking or eating healthy if you're gonna smoke? But it's like, well, I was gonna smoke anyways and probably wasn't
Yeah,
gonna eat healthy. So at least
right,
now I'm getting that. And it's like,
right.
and you can say like the argument, the steel man or straw man or whatever, I don't know how strong it is. But it's like, well, they don't cancel each other out. But
No,
no, they don't. But it's better than not. Like
yeah,
the
it is better than not. Any healthy thing is good.
yeah.
What, just because you're not 100, nobody's 100% healthy.
No, no. You got to
It's just
open the
spectrum like everything else.
yeah, you got to open the gate to health, to living healthy and like kick the keeper in the nuts.
Well, it's like that famous anecdote. I've always questioned this because it's like, all right, there's the famous anecdote of somebody saying, well, my grandpa smoked every day and ate bacon every morning. He lived to 85 years old or 90 years old. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I've never met anybody myself that has done that. Like, I've only heard people say that. I don't actually know.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
never
that's
really see like a super like a 90-year-old that's, you know, out of shape. You know what I mean? Like, I
yeah.
don't know.
But it's I think there's so many other factors involved too. Like I'm not pushing to be that guy, but like maybe. Like I'm always surprised
Maybe.
how fucking super healthy I am when I go to the doctor. Well, like
Yeah.
maybe not mentally, but inside.
Well,
Inside
yeah,
runs like a
you
fucking machine somehow.
could.
Um, oh fuck. I lost my what was
Just like the three, it's kind of luck of the draw, regardless of how long you live. It's kind of luck of the draw.
yeah.
You can eat well and get cancer, or you can be unhealthy and live long.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, these are all
Yeah.
possible things. I mean, you could be the healthiest guy on the planet and get hit by a car. That's like the
Yeah.
craziest. But it
N
doesn't mean you should be
no.
unhealthy.
In my uneducated theory that obviously smoking is not good for you, but like I think the stress and anxiety and everything that comes along with like heavy like chain smoking is
Yeah.
more of a factor in causing cancer than the smoking itself.
Yeah, I would
It,
agree. And just quality of life.
yeah, yeah. It's like
It feels, yeah.
if you're puffing 2 packs a day, like life's probably not great for you.
Yeah, and you probably
Or you
don't
don't
feel great.
no, you don't have a rosy outlook on life, I'm sure.
No, just because you're alive and sitting on the couch watching reruns of The Office doesn't mean you're like healthy.
No, no. I mean, yeah, you're
Or I
not
mean, that you feel good,
yeah,
it means you're just alive.
right.
Your
Just
body
fuck.
is just still processing. Like, what does it matter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the TV's like life support. Like that's the only thing
Yeah.
keeping you alive at that point.
And I
Like,
love The Office and I love
yeah,
reruns. Don't get me wrong, but it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
that
I've
doesn't mean you're alive.
no. Sometimes it can be like sometimes it can be a lifeline, but you gotta like figure your own shit out. Because again, like the podcast, like that's why workplace comedies are like, and especially the mockumentary style works so well.
Yeah,
Because I mean, you don't have to have worked in a paper company or like a cubicle
right.
to relate to the office. Like most everybody has had a job, and
Yeah,
like there's always a Dwight there. Like we
yeah, for
probably all
sure.
feel like the gym. There's
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
you always have a crush on a Pam.
Uh-huh.
There's the Stanley that like doesn't give a fuck and is just
Yeah.
like like he's just existing in there. Like I lost you for a little
No,
bit
it's back
there.
now. All right.
Yep.
But that show really was had the perfect tropes in it for the workplace.
Yeah, it yeah, it really did. Like that The Office changed TV like forever.
Yeah, and I guess, going back to that like living long and purpose and everything, it's like I don't know, because my grandmother just died earlier this year, and
Yeah.
she was 93. I think she was 90. She was either right about to turn 93 or she made it to 93. I can't quite remember. It was what's
Yep.
the difference? 93, 94, whatever.
Yeah. That's a good
But
run.
it's a great run. And she was, for the most part, pretty healthy um, all along. I mean, really, at the very end, she wasn't really doing too great, but she was 93. Her kidneys were failing, and just, there's just a
Yeah.
lot going on. She had a
Yeah.
little minor stroke and stuff, but she'd been like, she was still mobile. She was still showing up to weddings. She was still there out. She still had like a life, and her purpose was family because she was very close with all the family, and she was always over at the house. And I mean, hell, she was 93 and
Mm,
or 92, 93 in the last couple of years, and my dad and my uncle and everybody was like still doing house projects at her house, still making her house nice. Like there was no giving up, is my point.
yeah.
And I think that's probably what helped her get to that age was that there was always something to look forward to. There's always some kind of purpose.
Yeah. Dude, like so my paternal my paternal grandparents, like they didn't really ever like they didn't ever really have a good relationship. Like but they lived in separate states for most of our lives. Like
Hmm.
my grandpa lived in Superior and she lived in Michigan, like outside of Ann Arbor or whatever. She moved back to Superior to help take care of my little brother
Hmm.
after his mom split for the last time. But like she was like she was just a comically cold woman. Like just
Hmm.
she had a feud with my stepmom for the longest about like some little thing that she said, but it was the funniest shit ever, and it was a beautiful hill to die on.
Yeah.
Like my little brother was he was into not stock car racing, but it's like the enduro racing where they
Oh, okay, cool.
yeah, where they like it's like a demolition derby slash dirt race.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he like I mean, that just so you can do anything you put your mind to because he was fixated on it and he wanted to do it. Like
Yeah, that's
his,
crazy.
yeah, like his stepdad helped him build the car and stuff, and he learned how to drive it and whatever. And but like, so we all went to see him like race, and like my dad, stepmom, like some of her family was there, my grandma was there, I was there, like everybody was there to support him. But my grandma, like everybody was up here in the bleachers, and my grandma sat way down here all by herself. And like
Yes.
not even acknowledging that she was mad, just like acting pleasant like nothing was happening. Like it was
Oh, yeah, I
normal for
love
her.
that woman.
Yeah, that was normal for her to sit two bleachers over from the rest of her entire family.
What a power move.
It was. I I like God, I respected it. Like that's an awesome hill to die on. But like, okay, so like that being said, getting a taste of who she is, like my grandpa died of Parkinson's. It was a long decline. Um, she was like there because she had to, but like I don't know, her mother didn't show her love, so she doesn't know how to show love. Trickles on, stops somewhere. But after like after my and she was as sharp as a whip up until like the point that my grandpa died. And then after
Right.
that, like she started to decline immediately.
Interesting.
Yeah. And like they didn't even really like each other, but like it was still like a purpose,
It's
which is
purpose. Or
yeah.
like, yeah, but that's even weirder because it's like her whole world was her foundation was shaken, even though she, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Even though it wasn't like the focal point like of
Right.
her life, they just like I don't know, probably stayed married because they shouldn't get divorced.
Boy, that speaks even deeper to what purpose really is then. It's not
Yeah.
just uh, it's not just your what you're supposed to do, but it's like your place in the world.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Hmm.
yeah, it's a we assign it to ourselves, but it's a reason for existing.
Do you think do you think we assign it to ourselves or do you think we discover it? Because I debate with
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
I debate with that a lot because I am notoriously should pick a lane in what I'm doing in my life, you know,
Yeah. But
and I
it
don't know what my real purpose is. I don't think my purpose is just being an archaeologist or just being a musician and I think writing encompasses all of those things together. So I enjoy it so much because I can live in different worlds, but I don't ever know because there's a time and place for all the things I love to do. I think I'm just in the wrong time. I should have been
it
back in the day with Percy Fawcett out there exploring the Amazon, dying of malaria. That would have been my move.
that's a way to go.
Yeah.
Is that what you would pick if you had to go? Would you die of malaria?
I wouldn't choose that, but I would,
Yeah.
if that's what it costs to be like one of the first few people to explore a new place, you know.
Yeah.
I know it's not an undiscovered place because the indigenous were living there, but my point is like the exploration of a new world, it's all relative, it's all subjective,
Yeah.
you
We're only
know.
finding things that people have already done at
Like
this
if we
point.
had the story of the indigenous explorers that discovered new places too, that would be equally as amazing, but we just don't
Hmm.
have those stories. And I always struggle with that too. It's like Christopher Columbus was a bad man because he cut off the hands of yeah, and that's crappy, dude. And I
Hmm.
don't ever want to explain it by apologizing. I'm not a Christopher Columbus apologist. Think of that world. That world was probably insane back
I
then.
know. Like, yeah, because it sounds insensitive to say it was just the times, but like, it was the times.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
he
Yeah.
wasn't like, I'll say that it was the times and that like, he was the most famous, heinous person. But
Yeah,
like, there was a lot of shitty people back there because like, that was just how far
yeah.
we had gotten in society.
And I don't think a lot of the indigenous population, I don't think they were just eager to give him a shoulder massage.
No, no.
Like they would
Yeah.
have killed him too.
Oh, sure. Yeah, like like the Comanches, dude.
Oh,
Like the
yeah.
fucking
Comanches are
Comanches were
insane, bro.
fucking wild boys. Like,
Yeah. I'm presenting on them in Fargo. I'm doing a presentation on the Comanche Empire in September.
are you?
Yeah. I've been studying up on the Comanches big time for the last year. I wrote a huge like article on imperialism and the Comanche. They were wild. They would
Yeah.
just chop your fingers off, just eat them.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying the other guys weren't like fucking shitty, but like the Comanches, like, yeah, it's complicated, right?
They were notorious. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's complicated. It's like, okay, they still had slaves well after the Civil War. I mean, not well out
Mm.
after it's relative, but after the Civil War. I mean, the Comanche Empire was still having slaves.
Wild Wild West.
Wild West, dude. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
after it was outlawed after the Civil War, like
Oh yeah.
granted,
Just like,
slavery
let's
things
just
changed forms.
yeah, let's not tell them.
Yeah, dude. I'm just saying,
Shh.
it's crazy. Like we
Yeah.
can't apply our worldview onto other worldviews. Uh, that was a
No,
crazy tangent. I didn't mean to go off on that tangent.
no, no, it was an interesting tangent because like I don't know, I was just for some reason I had gone on a little wormhole in that like last week or in the last week or two. So it was
On the Comanches?
interesting. No, no, just like I was just like thinking about slavery and the times of it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's like it's
Hugely complicated.
yeah, and it's interesting like what's funny about America is that like I mean before that like slavery was just like a thing like indentured servants, you're prisoners, like I'll
Yeah,
sell these people that I capture or captured in war,
yeah,
whatever. Like it wasn't necessarily about race or like anyone being an inferior person. It was just like I captured you like and now I'm
right.
selling it to you. And then it only took I wonder how many generations it took, maybe one, two in America to where like the only black people you see are enslaved. And so it's like that narrative is just
Yeah.
already ingrained in it. It's like
It took
these are,
real out of the box thinking to abolish slavery.
yeah,
I
which
mean,
is,
truthfully,
yeah, which is
which is crazy.
fascinating. Yeah, yeah, like,
I've got a great book you should read, John. Let me pull it up about that. If you're interested in reading about that, just because it blew me away in the sense of putting you in the world and really talking about the complexities behind it. And it's about Anna Judge, who we've talked about before
oh,
on
yeah,
here.
yeah, I remember that.
But gosh, let me find the name of it. Never Caught. I'm just going to put it out there in case anybody else listening is interested in it. Never, it's, God dang it. It's on my Kindle, so it's always hard to,
Oh,
I'll put a picture up too. It's backwards, but still, Never Caught Anna Judge. But it was Washington, I mean, obviously the Washingtons had slaves, and that's the thing. And it's like, and we've talked about this too, so I won't dwell on it, but you're right. It's like the putting yourself in the world is crazy. What would have been better to be a slave that lived on the Washington estate or to be a free black person in like the North at the time where couldn't get a job, you couldn't get, like
yeah,
the racism against free slaves was crazy.
I know, I know.
It was almost more dangerous.
That kind of reminds me of the story of the Buddha a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Because like he everything in his father gave him everything he could ever ask for in his kingdom, and like he
Uh-huh.
didn't have to learn of the suffering of his people outside those walls,
Uh-huh.
but like he couldn't
Right.
bear the suffering of the rest of mankind while he lived comfortably. So it's like
That's
but
that,
but
that
yeah,
speaks
and
to
that
something, dude. There's
yeah,
something there.
and that's a wonderful story, but like
Yes.
in real life it's like I mean, there were abolitionists that made a difference, but it's like,
Yes. 100%.
what are you going to do? What are you going to do for your people if you're out there struggling? Like if you
Right.
can't make a way as a freed as
Right.
like a freed black man,
What's the
like
point?
what's the
Yeah.
point? Why not be like comfortable and just look at it as a job?
Well, it's like, what's the quote, the idiom, out of the frying pan into the fire? It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's not freeing anybody. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
it's transitioning slavery, and that's exactly what happened with in the name of. Now, granted, there's a philosophical thing of like, yeah, I'd rather die poor and free than a
Mm-hmm.
full belly and somebody's slave, and there's some real truth to that. And obviously that is the right answer because that is what so many people chose. And that
Yeah.
just speaks to, I mean, if that wasn't the case, nobody would have chose it.
Ooh, what's that line at the end of Black Panther when it was like um
To be continued.
no, yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, I was blanking on his name. It's Warmonger, right?
Michael Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. That's his name? Warmonger?
yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's like about to be saved and it's like, no, like throw me in the ocean with my ancestors.
Right.
Like and yeah, that's the part that after that is what I'm blanking on, but it was just like
I know this is a Disney Marvel movie, but we got to hit on something heavy
yeah,
quick.
yeah. Yeah, they would have rather died than like be a slave or something like
Yeah,
that.
there's something to it. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously. And I can't pretend to understand it because here I am in my nice chair and you know,
Yeah, yeah. It's easy to say that, but like
yeah, it's one thing to read a book about it and to
hmm
do thought experiments, but it's another thing to like actually be hungry in the woods, hiding from dogs and saying this is a better life than what was on the other side of the fence.
yeah, man.
Easier said than done.
Is Sisyphus a fool or does he have life figured out?
Sisyphus? Oh my God. You want to get philosophical, dude?
Well, we're just fucking going, I guess. It's early in the morning. I'm
Talk about purpose.
yeah.
Talk about the meaning of purpose. Wow.
Depends on who's telling that story, I guess.
Yeah. Push that rock, man. Push that
Yeah.
stone.
If you expand on it, like if you find a rock that's worth pushing every day,
Yeah.
then
Whoa.
it's a joy.
I
But
guess.
like to others, it just looks like pushing a rock. Fucking writing books is pushing rocks. Like
Yeah.
every day, like it's this, I'm gonna kill myself and like not make that much progress.
Yeah.
But like just so I can get up and do it tomorrow.
Yeah. God, I need to finish. I need to get back on the writing. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, you're right. It is just constant. It's work for the sake of work.
Yeah. But like I feel purpose in it.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to like yeah, I don't know if like you were saying, like I write and I do all these things and like I find purpose in those, but is that my purpose? But it's just
Yeah.
like I think our purpose is out of our control.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
we just have to follow our bliss and the things that give us purpose, and then like it ripples out.
Yeah.
It radiates from you. Like maybe we have millions of little purposes throughout our
That
life.
that's what I was gonna say. Purpose can change too. It's like eating. It's like what feeds you. Like when you say, you get up for the rock and the rock, Sisyphus pushes that sucker up and every morning it's back to the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
Just like writing, it feeds you. You
Yeah.
can't eat cheeseburgers every day.
No, no,
You know what I mean?
no. Cheeseburgers in paradise. That shit gets old.
Hmm. Sometimes you gotta switch it up and maybe that's a new purpose. That's what feeds you.
Yeah. I mean, I'll use like pat myself on the back too, and I'll give myself like a nod for it. But like Jason, like
Uh-huh.
he's been paint he's been painting all his life, did
Yeah.
sets and like all these things, and like he started writing this book back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And like it was my pursuit of my of writing and like hearing me talk about it with him and like this and that reignited him. And then he's he finished that book trying to get it published and he's working on the second one already.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, that was one of my little purposes. Like my pursuit of writing wasn't all for him. Like it wasn't so I could like a good Azazel, pass him and like pass the
Yeah.
spirit of the muse onto him, but it happened.
Well, that's a ripple.
Yeah, I didn't set out to inspire Jason to write, but
Yeah.
it happened because I was pursuing my passion.
Well, I feel like that too. It's like it's interesting the
You
effects
did
of
that
it.
too. You
And
did. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. You
well,
did
no,
that. You did that for me too. Like writing Limbo. Like that was even before we were good friends. Like we were
sure,
bartender, like regular friends,
sure,
but we
sure,
weren't buddies yet. But
sure. Well, that's
just
nice, man.
yeah, just seeing that you wrote that book and like, well, because it had been a dream, but like I had put it off because of I didn't have time to it. And like really it was
Right,
just working and like trying to build on my relationship with my third Wendy or whatever.
right.
But it, yeah,
Yeah,
it's like that required too much effort for me to write. But then I saw you. It's like, well, you got a job, you
yeah,
have a daughter, you you play music, you write songs, and you fucking wrote a book. It's like I
yeah.
really don't have any excuse to not do it.
And that's how I felt with other people in the past that I met. I'm like, God, these
Yeah,
idiots.
it's the
Wish
good
they'd stay
Azazel.
home.
Like it just passes on.
Yeah, that's a good point, man, because it really is all just ripples. Like, you know, yeah, that's true. And it even affects people in other ways too. Like, and not just even pushing them to create, but like, what if, what if your writing inspired Jason to, and that in the future inspires to like a world-changing book,
Yeah.
or I don't know. I was playing in Michigan last year, and somebody came up, and it was just me playing an acoustic show at a ski resort. It was just whatever, no big show. And somebody came up and said, "We come to see you every time you're in Michigan. We saw the Slam and Doors play three years ago, or no, it was something like they met at one of our shows. They saw us at a ski
Huh.
resort. Years later, they got
Yeah.
engaged and got married, and now they're married. And so they come to see me play or see us play. Throw that, and I was like, that's unbelievably cool.
Yeah, that's so
All comes
amazing.
down to being an idiot writing a song on a guitar. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. And like it wouldn't have had the same effect if you go out there thinking like, "Oh man, I'm gonna make somebody's day today." Or like maybe not
yeah,
that, but
no,
it's like if you're like, "Oh, like somebody's life is gonna change tonight." Like
right,
because of
right.
this.
That's
It's like you
crazy.
don't yeah, yeah, you don't that's extremely fucking narcissistic.
Yeah, but it feels
Uh
really good though. It
yeah, it
feels
does
great to do that.
to get it.
That's an amazing feat. That's worth more than any kind of pay for any gig. That's worth more than any money.
Yeah.
You have to do that kind of stuff.
And you can feel that in lots of things. I used to feel that with in the restaurant in the restaurant biz in my service industry days.
Yeah,
Like people would come to Duluth on vacation every summer and like they'd like you find your spots if you keep coming and like to be like for them to come back like it happened I remember it's happened a couple times, but for them to come back and be like I remember you from my last vacation and it's like
yeah,
we talked about this, we did that. Like I was just serving you food. I was just pouring you beers. Like you didn't come on vacation to come to Tycoons.
right.
But like this little part of it, this little 45 minutes of your whole week's vacation made an impact. And I
Yeah,
got to do that.
your
I got to be a part of it.
your existence matters,
Uh-huh.
and that's so important, and people forget that all the time, I think.
Yeah. You got to be loose and flow and then you do what you do and your purpose just happens.
And
Like,
then we all meet the same tragic ending.
yeah. But dude, like, was it I don't like I just think about like all the help and like assistance I have received over the past year, just like staying afloat and stuff like that, and being able to keep my house when I
Hmm.
thought I was going to be evicted. And then
Hmm.
like little purposes came out of that too. It's like I accepted I was just going to be a vagabond or whatever and figure it out. But like other than me having obviously the purpose of that is for me to have my home and be housed, but
Uh-huh.
the two little purposes off of that, like it was a trial for me, but I got to help moonlight through a tough time, And
Yeah.
and also like if I hadn't been living here, like I wouldn't have been in position to help my friend Debbie through her like battle with cancer.
Oh yeah, okay. Was she in New Mexico?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Her name is Debbie Sanchez. But she was a neighbor in the complex of mine. So I've like known her for a couple years, but like we're always just kind of friendly in passing, kind words, give a hug here and there.
Yeah.
Uh Man, Debbie was a lot, but like I loved her for it. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, I could see the lost boy in her eyes, just like a
All
child's
right.
eyes, just like misfit. Like I have a heart like for people that can't adapt to normative society. Like they just like it looks like
Oh,
you're trying, but you really like you just can't. It's like I'll
yeah, I
say
get
that
it.
I got lucky because my like survival mechanism was to adapt.
Right.
Like I'd do anything I could to get out of the house. Like my mom was multiple types of abusive. So like
Uh,
anybody that wanted I didn't want to ruffle any feathers of it. I learned how to like adapt to all the worlds around me, so they want me around. It's
right.
like if I made trouble, they wouldn't go out of their way. They wouldn't go through the trouble of like taking me anymore, or like
Right.
helping me out or supporting me or whatever. So it's like
Yeah, that's
whatever.
unfair.
Yeah. Um, but like now I use it like it's a superpower now. But Debbie didn't have that superpower. Uh
Right.
oh man, it's so like we all grieve in our own ways. It's fun to joke about it. But
Well,
it's like a repeat Larry David moment with her because like and like so many moments happen to me that also happened to Larry David. But like she lived in New York for a while too. Did some acting, worked on Wall Street. She is a dancer.
okay.
Um but she she lived in New York around 9/11. But
Jesus.
like, yeah, yeah. And so like, I don't want to be insensitive about it, just like being around it. But like, she like introduces herself so often as like a PTSD survivor of 9/11. And
Okay.
but like she wasn't like she was a ground zero survivor. Like she was there. It was
Right.
like it was like when I don't know if you lived in Minnesota when it happened, but when I-90 crashed, like
No,
eh,
I wasn't here. I was in
oh
Denver.
oh
I was living in
everybody
Colorado. Yeah.
everybody had like a story like they were affected by it like oh I could have been there like I drive by that all the time and it's like yeah
You
yeah.
know, I remember seeing it on the news though. I actually remember seeing it on the news.
Ooh, I
Yeah,
was
man.
actually 10 minutes behind it.
Wow.
Like I actually could have been on it and like I know I'm just talking shit about the people that's like oh yeah
No, no, that's pre-TSD.
yeah yeah
That's
but
pre-traumatic.
yeah but dig this. So like I was chaperoning a field trip. I was working for the Parks and Rec department at the time. I
Okay.
was chaperoning a field trip to Valley Fair and one of the kids and one of the newer staff wanted to ride the wild thing one more time but it's like I knew
Okay.
we were going to be late for like our meeting time but it was like whatever fuck it yeah go and so like I mean like my superior was pissed at me for allowing it to happen waiting there with fucking bitter eyes but whatever it was only a few minutes but if we were on time we might have been on the bridge.
That's meant to be. That kid saved your life.
Yeah yeah those fucking little things you're in the right place in the right time. And
Pre-traumatic stress disorder. That kid saved your life.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
But I hadn't seen Debbie for a while. It was winter. Like she walks her German Shepherd dog, which
Uh-huh.
I don't know why I said German Shepherd dog. But it's her like service animal dog too, which also
Okay.
like she's anxious and the dog is super anxious too, which
Okay.
is like super funny. Like I helped out a lot when she was going through it. But
What can I just ask quick, what kind of cancer did she have?
is pancreatic cancer.
Pancreatic.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it sneaks up on you out of nowhere.
That's quick too.
Yeah, yeah, it's very asymptomatic until like it starts attacking everything.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know she or like we didn't even know she had it. Um she had asked like her mother had died like a few months ago, and she was like hospice for a long time, taking care of her long distance or whatever.
Yeah.
So like she hadn't been really taking care of herself for a while or whatever. So, but like she asked me to help her declutter her house and like throw some shit away and stuff like that. And so like I offered to help her, no problem. I didn't say I said she didn't have to pay me, but I mean
Right.
she wanted to, and I didn't have any money, so I took it. But it was just like $20 an hour and like an
Yeah.
hour here and there, as much as she couldn't handle throwing all that shit away right away. So
Yeah.
like we had to do it in like little spurts. But that so that's how we started hanging out. And then she went to the doctor for some like stomach pains, and then they found out that she had like a mass on her pancreas. And
Oh,
then I went with her to her appointment with the oncologist,
yeah.
and then we were just on the journey from there. Like you
Wow.
go through all the scans and stuff like that, and the appointments, and like helping her get her medication and stuff. Started driving her around. Um, and then we got to like after we'd see how far it is, like they had to do a PET scan of everything to see what course of action they could take.
Right.
And they found out it was stage foursies.
Mm.
And there was options like chemo would be very painful. Don't know if you'd make it through it. There was like a pill form of chemo. And
Yeah.
then there's just like hospice. He said if with the hospice option, like about 4 months. And so like she wanted to still fight. So we're gonna do the pill version. And so she got a blood test. Then they called her in. It's like, oh, you're low on some shit. You got to come in. And then they said, like, no, you're not eligible anymore. Like, it's gone too far.
Jesus.
And then had to be within 2 weeks.
God damn.
Yeah, 2, 3 weeks tops. And it was, yeah, maybe, yeah, 2 weeks tops because it
Wow.
was a sequence of events like day after day after day to where we got that news. Um, and then she went into the hospital, and I believe like, oh yeah, and she like fell in her house, so I had to like buttercream game it
Oh,
and like climb up her balcony because the door was locked.
yeah.
She
Yeah.
couldn't get
Yeah.
out, and like I had well, I'm skipping around too, but
That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, because it was a weird three days, and then I had to like we had to call an ambulance for her, and then like she never made it out of the hospital after that.
Do you think? Oh, really? She
Yeah,
was just toast, man. God,
yeah,
that's sad. I'm sorry to hear
yeah,
it, dude. That's a brutal month.
yeah. It was, especially with with the moonshine situation.
Yeah, the moonlight,
Yeah, the moonlight.
moonshine,
Yeah, the moonlight.
moon.
Moonlight situation in my house or whatever. There was
moon-
nowhere to like decompress and
Yeah.
come back. But like you do speaking of pre-TSD, like you go for like there was pre-grieving going on involved too.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Because I mean, one day
Yeah, I know what that means.
like
I know what you mean.
we get that like we get her prognosis or whatever, like 4 months unless something happens with the chemo. And like she's ready to fight and like I know it's imminent at that point, but like I have to fix myself to like no, I believe we're gonna do it. Like we're positive, I'm fighting like because she's going like I have to deal with my friend dying of cancer, but like she's
Uh-huh.
dying with cancer. She's
Right,
dying of cancer. So it's like
right.
she doesn't need me to be like morose and ask for more time and this and that. Like
No, no.
no, she needs like a warrior. So I gotta stone face it and like be that kind of rock. And
Yeah,
then
but it's also you also have to be God, dude, it's so weird. It's such a weird balance because you also have to be like totally realistic and accepting of the fact that they're dying, and you
mhm.
almost don't want to be like unemotional.
No, no,
It's like
yeah.
you have to be fully honest, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah, that's a
it's a
great way to
crazy
put
way
it.
to be.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I'm a bottler anyway, so like
Right.
it comes out in weird ways.
Yeah. Nick
Um,
Kane.
yeah. Um, God, there was one point I because I had a she had another friend probably about my age. Like Debbie was probably like, I don't know, she was in her 60s. But she had another like friend like me, her that was probably around my age. So like she was
Okay.
helping out with taking care of the dog, and like when she was in the hospital, like we'd be there together sometimes, but like one of us was always there or whatever. So
Right.
you have to come home, recharge, eat. Like it's hard to like, yeah, you just have to take that time, otherwise you're gonna break.
Did she have any family or anything?
She had a brother and two sisters, but they live in Utah. And
Okay.
like up until their mother dying, they're they weren't that close, falling out or whatever. It's like
Well, and
their
that moved
family business.
that cancer moved so quick that even if they, I mean, that's not much time to make a plan to come and help. And
No, but her brother made it up. Her brother Quentin made it up, and he came and
it,
took her dog and her cat. And like they've got lots of space out in Utah and other
yeah,
animals to play with.
wow,
They're in good quality, but like that kind of the death of their mother and this kind of like brought them back together and kind of talking.
wow,
So that's another little another little purpose thing.
silver
But
lining.
yeah, but dude, I came home to wind down like for lunch one day, and I like because Moonlight had a dog or whatever, and
Mhm.
like and she was supposed to take him with all the time, but it's hot, so can't leave him in the car, whatever.
Right.
Fuck me. But he shit on the doormat on the
Oh, you can
inside.
leave him in the car then.
Yeah. And dude, like I come home to wind down and I literally step in shit.
Ah, wait. Oh, on the mat. Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
even put it together. On the
Yeah.
outside.
On the
So
inside
did your
mat.
door slide over it?
It slid through it and smeared.
Oh,
And I
God,
fucking stepped in
dude.
it. It was the fucking worst. It was like there's that pre-grieving. It's like it's all bottled up, but then something
Yeah.
like happens like boom, there's an outlet for the anger.
Oh, God. Yeah.
I think that's where my walk rage stemmed from that day too.
Oh, yeah.
Because yeah, because I have to make some clarifications of that story too. So like I wasn't drinking yet during the walk rage. I was
Okay.
I was on my way to do errands, and then I started having beers after that. But that was the day that I found out that like we couldn't even do chemo. We just
Right.
had to ride it out. So it's like after I
That's a
did my
tough day.
yeah, after I did my thing with her, it's like I don't know, fuck it. Even when I was at even having lunch, like she had called me or whatever, and it was just like, oh my gosh, it's so funny because she'd like talk about this. She'd call for one reason, but like she'd talk about 12 other things. So you just
Mhm.
like, and I hate being on the phone, but like obviously, like I'm there for her. Just like, but like before that, so those walk rage things. I just like want to touch it up because I realized that wasn't very clear. So the first one with a guy like sauced me about like being on the wrong side of the road.
Mhm.
There was a biker coming behind me. Like I moved over for him, and there was a biker coming up, and and then he signaled me to move back over. It's like I'm here because you're there. Like don't
Right.
fucking act like I don't know how to
Right. Right.
exist on the
Right.
trail.
Yeah.
That's what it pissed me off. But like I was attaching to like all these little things because I couldn't acknowledge that like I was grieving and like my friend was dying. So like
Yeah.
the anger just comes out in weird ways.
Oh, it'll last for years and years unless you figure out how to let that out. I still deal with physical manifestations
Hmm.
of grieving for
Right.
sure.
I
And
want
it's
to make
been 7 years or something since I lost Jim. So it's like it still
yeah.
pops in. Yeah.
Well, dude, like yeah, um, losing my maternal grandmother was like 13 years ago now. But like I didn't really grieve that until I wrote about it and how to write a novel in 5 years. and through the character based on her and Pete and Gwendolyn. But like, so a year
Yeah.
ago, like recording that, writing those, completing it, reading them, it was just like tearful. Like I still get tears when I listen to it, but like it took a lot to grieve that.
Yeah.
And also like grieving relationships that I no longer have anymore.
Right.
Like a sad, unfortunate like truth. Like I have family members that I don't talk to anymore. And it's like over over our over the truth of what happened between me and my mother. It's just easier for them to stick with
Yeah.
that truth. And like
Yeah.
that took a
They're probably in denial a little bit.
yeah, it's easier for that. It's easier to do that, but like it took a long time for me to accept that. And I think some of that grieving probably came out through Debbie too, because
Yeah.
like she became, I don't know, like in certain ways, like I was the son she never had, and like she was the mother that I got to walk home that like I'll never get to. Like I don't have a
Right.
relationship with my mother at all anymore. So like
Right.
I'll never experience that of like, yeah, walking somebody to the fucking great beyond.
So do you think, God, I don't want to psychoanalyze you here, John, but
No,
because
let's do it.
kind of
Open me,
open,
unzip me, Doc.
well, you kind of opened the door to it and you kind of already
Yeah.
knew this and led to it, but I just kind of want to expand on it because that's really interesting. Do you think that you're putting some of your grievances onto Debbie? Are you kind of like, you know how like you always kind of prepare, like you were saying, you pre-grieve, you think about, like I'm thinking about
Hmm.
like when my folks are going to die, and you almost like have an ego about it. There's almost an ego where you're like, well, I'm going to write a great speech. I'm going to have a great thing to say. I'm going to write these nice things. And you're doing it as like this under this guise of, well, it's all about them, but really it's kind of for you too. It's like,
Yeah.
then people will see that I'm a great writer about it. And it's like, there is an ego to it. It's like
Yeah.
you fantasize about this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
mean,
I wonder if that ego is a way of protecting you from the real truth of what it is. And that's a really hard thing to even say out loud. Is
yeah.
like that person is gone.
It could be the ego trying to trick you, or it could be your higher self or the muse um, leading you into something you wouldn't have otherwise gone. Like it was
But
too hard for me to approach losing that family that's still alive. Like how do I grieve that? But like
yes,
but this pushed me into a zone, into where
right.
it's like, okay, everything is all in this realm here.
And it sounds like you might be dealing with some feelings that are unresolved about that with your mom.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you're
for
applying
sure.
that to this situation too. You
Yeah.
know,
Because my mom was difficult and like so was Debbie. So it's
yeah,
like, oh, like you're drawn to that. And like I don't know if I can, maybe that's working out the guilt of
yeah, for
like,
sure.
'cause like every year good boys are supposed to like honor their mother and like
Uh-huh.
supposed to do right by them and like and earn a lot so you can take care of them till they die or
But
whatever. But like
it's
that's
not, that isn't an, that is an earned thing though on both sides.
yeah.
And that's such a crazy, and you as a storyteller want to have this storybook life anyways, and it's hard to balance the two. I relate to that a lot.
Yeah. Well, I was thrust into it. That's a good point. That's a good segue into like well from like the guide uh, the guide has to trick you into like going into this realm, otherwise you wouldn't go. Like that's what I
Hmm.
was taught on a mushroom trip
Oh, the
once.
hero's journey.
Yeah. And so with me, like writing this book was of that. Like I delved into this, I unlocked a lot of things because like I didn't a lot of the emotional and like mental and like even sexual abuse from my mother,
Hmm.
like it was beneath the surface, but I didn't those were repressed memories, repressed and suppressed
Right.
until 2018, like 6 months after I started writing the book. Like there was
Wow.
lots of elements that brought that to the surface, but like I like actively like press that down. Like every time something like weird would come up close to the,
Yeah.
like I just fired or whatever, it's just like bubbling like, oh shit, no, 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 no. That's
Right.
not real. That wasn't what I thought it was. Like that didn't feel like I thought it was. Like whatever.
No, it doesn't. And
Like
then
we're
letting it
past it.
go, it's almost like you have to change your identity. It's almost afraid of losing your identity
Yeah.
because that trauma becomes such a part of you, or that grieving becomes such a part of you that once it's gone, you're afraid of like, well, who am I without it?
Yeah. You had to,
It's
yeah, and you have to like live through it to let it go. You
yeah,
have to experience it because like it took, I don't know, almost 6 going on 7 years to like live in that. Like there's a lot of PTSD from childhood and earned along this journey through the process of like learning who people were.
yeah,
Um, but like, yeah, you just like have to feel that shit because like it feels, I mean, just like a Vietnam flashback or whatever. Like it's
yeah,
that's not the only PTSD, but like it feels like you're actually there. Like it feels like when those memories come back, they're so vivid, and especially with my imagination. Like
yeah, 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 yeah.
it's a clear picture, and it feels like I'm in those arguments, or it feels like I'm in those positions that I was powerless, and it's like actually like fighting back and forth, and like
Hmm.
I don't know. It reminds me of season 2 of Loki, where I don't know if you watched that one or not, but like he
Uh,
gets stuck in these like time loops to where like he goes back and try and change it, but he keeps experiencing it over and over again. Like I don't know, he screwed this lady over on Asgard, and like he can't avoid like he's in the time prison, so like they stick him in here, and
right.
like it keeps looping around, and he keeps getting slapped and kneed in the nuts. Like he can't avoid it.
Just reliving it over and over
Yeah,
again.
yeah. He keeps trying to find ways to convince her not to do it or whatever. And like, I guess in the
Oh
end,
yeah.
he
It's a
just,
wasted endeavor though. The past is gone. It's
yeah,
like it's a difference between a year ago and 30 years ago. Really,
nothing now.
everything is kind of ancient history if you think about it. Every moment is kind of ancient history because
It's,
it's all relative. It's like what's
yeah,
10 minutes ago versus what's 10 million years ago. It's all gone.
yeah, yeah.
No
It's
changing
all,
it.
it's all past life. It's like there's only
And
now, now,
even memories
now.
are tricky. It's like if I were to like I have memories of things, and yet if I were to watch a video of those moments, like some of the best times I had were like some of the best memories I have were like with a girl or out, at a party, laughing so hard and thinking how
Yeah,
amazing was this. But if you had a camera in the corner of the room on that, and it was just that, it would just be like people standing there laughing. It would
yeah.
almost take magic away from the memory. And so when you have these memories of these terrible moments, it's going to amplify it so much more.
Oh,
I
100%.
mean, it's so interesting because memories are kind of convoluted. I can't
Hmm.
memories can't be trusted, I guess is my point.
Yeah.
Memories can't be trusted because it goes through a filter and it's our version of events,
Hmm.
which that doesn't discredit them. It's our
No.
version. That's what happened to us. So
Yeah.
memories can't be trusted.
But
The
over
future
time, your
is
your brain also edits it.
yes, that's what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
like it's our memory. It's not a shared memory. It's
Yeah.
your own, which that doesn't devalue it. It's
Yeah.
important to have your memory because that's your experience. That's your life.
Yeah. And
But
yeah,
memories
it's
can be fully trusted, and the the future is no matter what tragic.
hmm
Oh my gosh! So
yeah.
what are you doing, dude?
Yeah. I don't yeah, it's weird because like the brain is such an ingenious machine too. Because it's like I don't know, and I might get somewhere with this tying it back into purpose. Because like
Doesn't need to be.
what no, I think it does though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the words because like I don't know. My brain my brain dropped all this, I mean, my brain blocked all this stuff out until I found my purpose. Like up until 2018 when I decided this was my life and I was going to write professionally and and do that however I could.
Hmm.
My purpose was in like fitting into these worlds and through other people and relationships and pleasing people and my job. And it's
Hmm.
just like through my third Wendy, like I tried all these different hats on and it all fell apart. So like I had this blank slate and I got to restart and I got a reset. And then I chose to do this. But then all that other shit, all the other safeties that got me through here, through the years, started to fall apart. It was like 6 months after I had my brain discovered it or unlocked its purpose. It
Hmm.
also unlocked all the painful memories that back when I was 10 decided was like no, because there's no way out of this. Like it logically decided that you're not going to make it through this if you deal with it. So we're
Mm.
not going to. We're going to shut it off. We're going to put you in TV and story and we're going to give you all these little things to like
Uh-huh.
to
Yeah.
get through this. But it's like, all right, brain's like, okay, now we're ready. You can handle it now. And it feels like it felt like I was 10. Like when
Yeah.
those memories came flooding back.
Oh, crazy. That's the only way to heal, though, huh?
Mm-hmm. Other little purposes. Just going on these tangents. Um, my good buddy Jay in Duluth. Uh, he was he's a BU regular. But like on the night that these or like in that weekend that these suppressed memories came at, he was hanging out at Sir Ben's.
Hmm.
And I was going like just trying out a new thing. I don't know, whatever, just to change a pace or whatever. So it's just like, I don't know, the purpose and placement of the universe. Because, and you may or may not have been working that night, but like, I had a plan to like kill myself. I was going to Viking burial myself down at the lake, drink
Hmm.
enough to pass out to where I couldn't get up. And I
Hmm.
would either freeze to death or like drowned or whatever.
Right.
And like, went for it. But like, Jay intervened.
Hmm.
Like it's like he was supposed to be there, but like Jay wasn't supposed to be there. Like nobody was supposed to stop me, but he was there to do it.
Hmm.
He was it was a chaos theory. He was at a different bar for no reason. And like and I didn't and he noticed that I was being overly positive and optimistic to the
Oh,
point to where it was like fake. And it's
right.
like, okay, that's not something's off. It's like I'm
Interesting.
a positive person, but like that was like fake positive.
Manufactured.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was a weird Minnesotan passive aggressive cry for help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, please somebody see that I'm not acting normal. But like
Right.
nobody did.
Interesting.
Even said goodbye a couple of times because I always Irish goodbye Sir Ben's. Like
Right.
I'd pay my tab with my last drink, sip it, say I'd go into the bathroom, and then drop a smoke
Sneak
bomb.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was
Yeah.
always close to blacking out. I couldn't handle Minnesota goodbyes. I'd never make it through it.
Yeah.
Like I knew my biological clock. And I had drank to that point to where like I was gonna stop making memories by the time I made it to the beach.
Yeah.
But Jay stopped me and he wouldn't let me. I even took a roadie from Sir Ben's, like a bottle of beer.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't like he wouldn't leave me alone until I admitted what was wrong or what was happening. Like it was just
Wow.
like, yeah,
Piece of shit.
yeah. And it was just like not caring, it's just like cuz like I don't know, he's a teddy bear but like a hard exterior or whatever. Like won't
Yeah.
let you in or whatever. It's just like, yeah, I don't like no, man, like I don't give a fuck about you or whatever. Like I'm just staying here until you like
Yeah.
I know what's happening right now. You know what I mean? Like I know I've seen like or either he's seen it or he understands it. It's like I know the path that it's right now. So like you're gonna tell me or I'm
Yeah. He
just not
sensed
gonna
something.
yeah, yeah, I'm just not gonna leave you alone. You can do whatever you
Wow.
want, but like and then it broke and then it let but like after that I couldn't put it back in.
Yeah.
And it's just
Damn.
like, yeah.
Well, that just goes to show like you can't really ever tell when anybody's what's going on inside.
No, no. It's the old sad cloud thing and like all these suicide
Yeah.
and all like the suicides, like they were happy, like you never saw it, but it's like And like sometimes it's masking it, but sometimes it's really just doing the best you can because like I'm
Yeah, it's
depressed.
true.
Yeah, like I'm depressed, but also I'm trying not to be. So like I'm maybe all I have is an hour of energy to be happy. And so like I
Yeah.
just want to go out and do that. And like
Being depressed, like really truly depressed, I mean, it hurts.
it does.
It physically hurts. So, I mean, you almost have to fight that
Yeah.
pain.
Physically hurts, it manifests into different things.
Oh,
It's
yeah. I mean, it
like,
physically hurts. It hurts
yeah,
your stomach, it hurts your head, it hurts your muscles, it hurts your bones.
it strips away your purpose, which
Yeah.
is what keeps your brain going. It's like if you don't have
Yeah.
purpose, your brain is like, all right, I guess it's time to self-destruct.
Yeah. Figure something out. Yeah. Go up.
Yeah, because we're not, yeah, we're just taking up air right now.
Yeah.
Like
You
we're an
don't.
organism, like, and maybe that's a weird thing of like, I don't know, the connectivity of all man and soul, like to God, like we're all God, we're all appendages of it. And it's like, maybe if this, I don't know, and now take that analogy and say our body, like if you've got diabetes and your foot doesn't work anymore, it's like you amputate the foot so it doesn't spread.
Right.
So maybe God, the universe, our one interconnected soul is be like, this guy's turning into a real piece of shit. He has no purpose.
Yeah.
Let's,
Amputate.
yeah, let's amputate this from the 8 billion plus Godhead of souls.
Wow. That's interesting. That's an interesting way of looking at that. I've never thought of it in that way.
But if, yeah, and like, I don't know, I'd
Hmm.
dealt with some depression this year, and which is why I went and got help. Because it was like, I know I have this purpose, but like my brain is still trying to tell me that like you're not earning money, like you're not
Hmm.
selling any books, like nobody loves you, like you don't have your family anymore. Uh, we
Well,
don't know
welcome
if we're
to
gonna
the
get out of
club and not
this.
selling books, dude. That's just part of it.
What'd you say?
I said, welcome to the club of not selling books.
Yeah, yeah,
That's just
yeah,
part of it, man.
yeah, yeah. That's that's
You can't
that.
get yourself down on that, dude.
No, no. But it was just like all those things, like the brain is like without
Yeah,
emotion calculating these things.
right.
And it's like, okay, how are we going to get some stability? Like how are we going to get our up to our first chakra, our basic needs, the bottom rung of Maslow's hierarchy? Like
Yeah.
they're all really connected, but like food,
Well, what
shelter,
would
water,
make
the
you
basic.
what would make you feel more secure? Would it be money? I mean, money really does change
Yeah,
everything. You
money,
know, it
but
really
not money itself. It's like, yeah, money can buy happiness. Like jet skis make you very happy. Like
no,
nobody, but
what I'm saying. Yeah, I know what you
no, I
mean, but it's
know.
like just like the security of it.
Yeah,
Security is a nice feeling.
yeah, because like it's kind of our food as
Uh-huh.
people. It's like we like back to early man, just hunters and gatherers. Like that's
Mhm.
the food that we go out to eat. I mean, we go to work. We go there and gather our food or whatever.
You
And like,
gather, yeah.
yeah, we go to the grocery store and hunt our food. And they're like,
Yeah.
whatever. There's comparisons to it. But
Mhm.
like it funnels through currency and money.
Uh-huh.
So it's like not necessarily like money, but it's the security. So like, I mean, and your brain can't even like focus on anything else if
Right.
your if your food, shelter, and
Right.
water and
Right.
general security is in jeopardy. It's like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
programmed to figure out how to do that. And if there's no means of figuring that out, it'll just start to fixate on other things. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, why is it happening? I have to figure out a way. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
back to the hunter-gatherer days. It's like, yeah, they were trying not to get eaten by lions and shit. And like they gotta
Yeah.
wonder if that's a stick or a snake. Um, but it's
Yeah.
and like you can't really focus on art and creativity or like fun or social interactions, like not in a healthy manner anyways,
No, for sure. You're
if your
right.
security isn't
Yes.
intact.
Yes.
So it's like maybe
Totally.
you stay down there or below there, your brain is just like, yeah,
Totally.
there's no way of maintaining our shelter. We don't know where our food is coming from. You're not drinking enough water. That's your fault.
Right.
um, and so on and so forth. You can't afford the basic things. Like your brain focuses on that stuff enough, and
Yeah.
it's just like, all right, let's self-destruct, I guess.
Yeah. Well, don't do
Let's
that.
no, and like I'm good now. I'm
No, I know.
happy.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
In general, like
yeah.
there's always, I have found though, now that you mention that, I do think I am when my life is more organized and financially, like my bills are paid and I'm feeling okay, not really worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, that's not a constant for anybody, but
Yeah,
I am more creative. I do have more output with other things.
yeah. It's like just little things, but you notice it. Like
Totally.
back when I had a steady job, it's
Yeah.
like after my rent was paid, my bills are paid, like
Yeah.
got got weed, cigarettes, incense,
All right.
food, all the things that I like or that I'm able to do or whatever. But like after my laundry's done, house is clean, like after all that, like I could have I could have $20 left in my pocket, but it feels like fuck you money. Like
Right.
all my
Right.
needs are met and
Yeah.
I can get real loose.
Yeah.
Oh, there was like a 2, 3 week period back, I think the second run of COVID. I was still in Duluth. But the Pier B got shut down for an outbreak or whatever. So we're out for like 2 or 3 weeks. But
Hmm.
I had I had I had money already and I had income coming in from being laid off. And
Yeah.
it was just like living the true like artist life. Like it felt like I was an
Yeah.
author that was living off his bonus or advance or whatever.
Right. We got spoiled.
Yeah, like all I have to do is just write and create, and
Yeah.
there was no sense of
Oh, yeah.
urgency.
Dude, during that shutdown, I had some output, creative output, dude,
Yeah,
because
there's
I had money, I had time.
there was no options to do anything else.
Yes. And it was like I could fully focus. I wrote an album, I finished that book, we redid the studio. Like, yeah, we were doing some shit, dude. It was great.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, well.
that's chaos theory though. Like that's
Yeah.
through those chaotic times like
Hmm.
Renaissance happens. I
Funny.
mean, the Renaissance era was after the Spanish flu.
That's true.
It's like it wasn't good for everybody. Definitely wasn't good for everybody. It was good for me at times and bad for me at others. Um, but yeah,
Or the Renaissance after the Black Plague.
Black Plague. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I feel like something happened after the Spanish flu too. I don't know.
The Roaring Twenties. Let's
Oh, that
see.
could be.
It was yeah, I
But
mean,
it's like
World War
fuck.
II happened.
Like fuck, man. We made it through it, man. We might as
Yeah,
well live it up and celebrate.
yeah. Huh. Well, I'm sorry to hear about Debbie, and I'm sorry you had to
Oh,
go through all that, man. That's
thanks.
brutal.
Yeah, yeah. She's gonna live on through a character, man. Like
Oh yeah,
she's gonna have an arc in Santa Fe Ricky.
great.
Um, because like I don't know, you can use death for whatever you want, but like
Yeah,
she's almost a cautionary tale of like not following your dreams. Because
true.
and she makes me really want to go for that stand up thing too, because I'm always putting it off. But
Yeah.
like dancing was Debbie's purpose, but she was too afraid to do it like in a performance aspect.
Mhm.
Like there was that cabaret vixen inside of her that like wanted to come out, that was her true self, but like shy on the outside and afraid of being judged or whatever. Like she
Right.
did some acting, like she did some dance consulting, I think, or whatever, but like she was never she never got her chance to do it performing. She never got to do what she loved as a performance or whatever. And it's like, I don't know, that's something to be pondered and just like don't be
Yeah.
afraid, go do it now.
Is it a waste?
No, I don't think it was a waste because she had a great life. Like yeah, she did lots of little bits here and there.
Right.
Yeah, lived in Utah, lived here, lived in New York. She worked on Wall Street. Um, She was in a Maury Povich reenactment.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Her and her husband were like these psycho killers running around the neighborhood looking for people to kill.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe that was her purpose.
Yeah, yeah, among others, but like all those little purposes, but like I don't know. She got to tag me through it and like I get to tell her story on here and like I get to write her, I get to make her in a character.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, one of those other little purposes, maybe we tagged each other's hands and touched each other's lives to keep it going.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I don't know.
like yeah,
Just be coincidence.
I don't think there are I don't think there is coincidence.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah.
I don't know. No
Otherwise
way
you
to
wouldn't yeah, otherwise you wouldn't notice it. Like it just, but like you can make the story out of it. You can make whatever story you want out of it. Like it's,
True. It's up to you to define it.
yeah. And it
Yeah,
means,
that's a good way of putting it. It's up to you to define the coincidences in your life.
yeah. Did every little thing in life happen so we could meet each other? No. But because of every little thing that happened in life, we met each other.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. It's weird. It's too big to think about
Yeah.
because then it becomes this thing of like you start questioning every single little decision in your life.
Yeah, yeah. That can be debilitating too.
That's brutal, dude. The
I've been
paralysis
there.
of analysis.
Yeah. It's like, oh, what's gonna happen? Like, yeah, you start putting too much sauce on it. It's just
Uh-huh.
like, oh, I'm going to the grocery store, but like,
Uh,
okay, where's the call to adventure? Where's the refusal of the call?
yes,
Like,
exactly. It's
what's
like,
gonna happen at the grocery store? Am I gonna meet a girl? Am I
right,
gonna have trouble finding my peas?
right. Where's the adventure of the lifetime today?
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah,
And then you're just like looking around for adventure.
yeah,
It's like you're looking around for a duffel bag full of money. It's
yeah.
like they
That
exist.
is interesting because I
They're
do
out
find
there.
myself that like thinking about like serendipity and all these things of like coincidence in life. Like, oh, this song came on when I was thinking about this. This has to have meaning. It's like, ooh, that everything has meaning.
Mm-hmm. With me, I think the stuff that has the most meaning ends up being the things that I didn't plan.
Exactly. Or yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
the author and the muse in me. It's like
Uh-huh.
the author outlines this, and it's like
Uh-huh.
that's how our story should play out. And
Yeah.
then like the muse adds those extra things, but it's like the
Right.
story really moves with the muse's contributions.
Oh, yeah, interesting. I don't know. That's inspiring. That's a good way to start the day. I'm gonna think about this stuff.
Fuck yeah. I'm gonna put it back in season 2 of How to Write a Novel in 5 years.
Hey.
Like I'm putting that that's that's from the point that I decide to be a writer
Mhm.
and the first year over that to the point to where like I mean I went through all that shit that we just talked about for like 6 months. And then another person being in the right place at the right time was Rich Narum
Oh, sure. Yeah,
with
Rich.
his soup before soup event for
Oh,
homegrown.
yeah.
Yeah, so like I was in Sir Ben's just like starting to feel good again, like probably should have like conventional wisdom would say that like I should have gotten a good night's sleep and started
Uh-huh.
writing again that next morning because I was ready to get after it again.
Yeah,
But I went
I know that feeling. Yeah.
but I went to Sir Ben's instead. And then I met Rich and he was looking for people to perform at his soup before soup event at his house.
Yeah.
Like it was the superior night of homegrown. So
Right.
like Gavin was there,
Yeah.
a couple other people were there. But he asked me to read like 20 minutes of my book. And I actually had like it felt like I had written a lot more than that,
Yeah.
which it does when you start writing. It's like, oh
Yeah,
shit,
it
I haven't
does.
done shit.
Yeah.
But like it
Got deep
forced,
in
yeah.
it.
But I said yes, and it forced me to like get back in it. And
Yeah.
like really, it was only maybe the first episode of Pete and Gwendolyn
Keep
Grew
going with
Up
it.
that I wrote, that I
Yeah.
had written, and I got it neat and orderly and ready to present or whatever. But like that was like the supernatural aid for me
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
that got
Funny.
me back that got me back on track. But it was just he wasn't there for me and I wasn't there to fill out his set
Right.
list. But like it lined up and that was the spark that I needed to kind of keep going.
Funny. Little
But that
sparks keep it going. Little
yeah, yeah,
pieces of coal.
yeah. But that's season 2. I'm
Right.
editing that now. And I know we probably got to get going, but like I just wanted to like
Oh yeah.
it reminded me of something that we've talked about a lot. And it's just like is it better to like let your work marinate for a while? You keep revising, re-editing, but you got to say it's done sometime.
Yeah.
What's the middle ground?
Depends
But
on what you got lined up next, is what I'm
yeah,
finding.
yeah. It's like but it to always have something lined up helps.
Yeah.
But I'm so like what I've had to wait for because I started writing this season back in last September, October, right
Uh-huh.
after I finished season 1. And I had quit my job and I was like, it was for mental reasons, so I should have rested, but I just went full speed into like
Right.
to the art thing. And like season 2 is writing about the memories that were repressed. It was that shit. So like
Hmm.
while I'm in this state of unease, like don't even know how I'm gonna pay my rent. No, my basic needs aren't met. I'm attacking these memories. Like I'm just
Uh-huh.
reliving them and reliving them and rewriting them and
Compounding
rewriting them.
stress.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like boom, boom.
Yeah. Compounding stress.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah. But
That's
now
hard.
yeah, it was. But like, and I had to stop for my own mental health. I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
uncle, uncle, yeah, let me out of the sweat lodge. I can't breathe.
Yeah.
Um, but getting to rewrite that and seeing what I wrote 8 months ago, and like
Uh-huh.
the even and like it's such a joy to be able to rewrite that and see because every day you write, you're a little better than the last.
Hmm.
So like I got to
Hopefully,
practice
yeah.
writing for 8 months before I
Yeah.
got to go back and like revise it for myself. And even the tone of my voice as a writer, like the first episode, like it goes like, oh yeah, there's bliss in this, there's bliss in that, everybody's an artist, all this and that. And then
Uh-huh.
it goes a little more, but like this is what it's kind of actually like, and then this is what it's like for me. I talk about the archetypes and shit like that. I
Hmm.
should send you a copy if you ever have time. Um, but like my tone of what it was like to be a writer was like back then, like I had maybe like experienced not having a job and just writing my bliss, doing my
Uh-huh.
bliss for 1 or 2 months. And then like having done that and seeing what it's like actually like, because it was still a little romantic at that time. Like the starving artist, like we're chasing
I
our
get it.
dreams and like we're just gonna
Sure.
keep running and like something's gonna catch me. Like,
Sure.
but like I
Yeah.
leapt and it kept falling on the ground and I leapt and I kept falling on the ground, but I kept getting back up and I kept leaping. I kept falling on the ground. Um, but uh
Yeah, but you got to go all in too,
yeah, yeah, you do. And it's like it was a tumbling process and I built through
Yeah.
it. Like I'm grateful for that experience. But like now I'm my tone of as a writer talking about it, it's just like, yeah, it really sucks sometimes, but like I'd rather do this than anything else. Like I show up every day to kill myself because I love it that much.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
and that's what bliss is. It's like you're willing to fucking kill yourself for it. It's like or like a good parent that's willing to sacrifice everything for their child and put it on the line and like without
Yeah.
thinking about it or being a caretaker. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you put someone else's needs
Instinctual.
before yours because that's what you're supposed to do. Like that's your purpose. And
Then
like,
you don't even question it. It's
yeah,
instinct inside
yeah,
you.
yeah, it's an instinct. It's a have to.
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, the have to. What movie was that from? You remember Rookie of the Year?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. It's like
yeah, yeah.
funky butt loving.
Yes. Oh man.
Say funky butt loving.
Yeah. Fucking Chet Stedman, like the old
Yeah.
aging pitcher,
Hot
was.
ice.
Oh, that's the secret. Oh, that's great, man. But like Chet Stedman was trying to give Henry Rowan Gardner a fucking pep talk because he was
Yeah,
like afraid or whatever. Like he didn't think he could do it. Oh yeah,
yeah,
he lost the juice. He
yeah,
fell again. And
yeah.
it's like,
He slipped on the ball, right? On the
yeah,
way to the pitching mound.
yeah. And
Yeah,
it's like it's the have to. It's that thing in you that it's like you don't think about how you're gonna get this done. You just go out there and do it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like
Oh, rookie of the year, they have to? Are we quoting rookie of the year, dude?
oh, it's a
Hell yeah.
shame it's not quoted more often.
I'm gonna get a rookie of the year. What was his name?
And
Rowan Gardner?
Rowan Gardner. You
Rowan
gotta
Gardner.
you gotta get a Cubs jersey.
I'm gonna get a. I'm a huge Cubs fan, anyways,
Oh,
dude. I
that's
can't believe I didn't
perfect.
have a Rowan Gardner Cubs jersey.
That's been on my fucking mental fucking shopping list for a long time.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
I want you
I'll
to
get
have
it
that. That's
from you
great.
then. I'll get a Mighty Ducks Charlie Conway jersey.
No, no, you get it because you're a Cubs fan anyways.
I love the
Like
Cubs.
Rowan
The
Gardner.
lovable
Like
losers.
that's such a great name. Like making up names is probably one of my favorite parts of writing.
Me too. I love doing that. I have a
Yeah.
list of names I love because that I go like baby names and the meanings behind the names and all this stuff. And then
Yeah.
they have to match the right ethnicity of the character or the right
Mm-hmm.
heritage or the right
Yeah.
where they're from or time period too. It's
Yeah.
like if you're born in the 80s, I look at like popular 80s, I don't know, it's dumb.
Yeah.
But
I like using unisex names and like making it and like and also nicknames too, because
I
like
like nicknames a lot too.
what
Yeah.
people call the characters
Yeah.
says a lot about how they're perceived.
I
Or
like
like using
yeah,
like
I like that. Yeah.
Chris or Pat or
Yes.
Gene or
Yeah.
something like that, and making fun of the character for like whatever the opposite gender is.
Yeah, I love
Guy Casey, girl Casey.
I love title arbitrary titles for people too.
Oh,
Where
like what?
like in Villa Layla there was a character named Damien the River Rat. And I
Oh
just always
yeah,
liked the title instead of like having a title of like MD or the Duke, you know, it's almost like giving it a title of royalty, but it's totally not royalty,
oh
Damien.
yeah, totally. And
Yeah.
especially like writing for kids, like
Yeah.
like there's all types of nicknames and they just stick. Like there's a
Yeah.
kid in one of my books, Awkward Abner.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Huckleberry Gary, all these things.
yeah,
And it's like it gives it, yes, it's like what you say, it almost gives it a fable. It's like what you do in a fable or a fairy tale.
yeah.
They have these,
Uh-huh.
Sir Galahad, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, there's Meandra Jenkins. Like her name is
Meander
Miranda,
great.
but the kids call her Meandra because she has a club foot. So she walks slow and she meanders.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I
But
like
then I bring that in because like then like the person who calls her Meandra gets like made or like gets chastised for like that.
yes,
Like, dude, she's got a
exactly. But
club
it's
foot.
yes.
Like, oh, I got stuck behind Meandra Jenkins again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry I'm
I had
late.
a buddy, I've always wanted to use this too. And maybe you could use this because I don't know where it would ever fit, but I played soccer with a guy, his name was Bobby Eastep. Did I ever tell
Bobby
you this?
Eastep?
Bobby
No.
Eastep. But he lost his big toe and his second toe got cut off by a lawnmower. And so the balance, when he didn't have shoes on, his balance was fucked up.
Oh
And
shit.
we played
No.
soccer with the guy, but everybody called him Bobby No Step.
Bobby No Step. Oh man.
And
That's
it's like the
great.
perfect, and it's not, like that sounds like made up, but it's perfect. That's real life. So when you do
Yeah.
these things and nicknames and characters, that is actually true to life of what
Yeah.
people do.
You told me about this on the Black Seth Green episode.
Bobby No Step.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
we're
yeah.
talking about our friends that lost toes.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I saw Seth not too long ago. He came
Oh
into
yeah?
Bent Paddle, and I saw him in there.
Dude, I'm gonna see him in August.
Nice.
Our buddy's getting married in Vegas.
Oh, he mentioned that actually
Did
when I
he?
saw him. Yeah, he said you guys. Oh, that'll be fun. You should ice him again.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do something. I like I'm sure the standards are gonna be a little more
Yeah.
rigid than they were in Florida, in
Yeah, I'm
Vegas.
sure. Yeah.
But man, it's gonna be so great. It's like a Lost Boy reunion. Like
Yeah,
we've all
fun.
been friends since like 10 and earlier.
you should do a we should do a 10-minute mini pod while you're out there with all your buddies.
Oh, hell yeah.
10 minutes to edit into another episode because I want to hear about the
Yeah, we should. Oh, yeah, I was thinking about that too. And speaking of nicknames, like it's still in my phone to this day, but my buddy Tony that's getting married,
uh-huh.
like he's super super dark skinned.
Okay.
So growing up, obviously like we make fun of anything that's different. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter, but like so like we made fun of him for being so dark.
Yeah, like
But
Wesley Snipes dark.
yeah, yeah. So like one of his names was African Dave.
Okay.
So it's still in my phone as that to
Africa,
this
but
day.
his name's Tony.
Yeah, we
Okay.
knew we knew an African guy named Dave
Okay, all
back in the
right.
day.
Super dark.
He was somebody's parent or he was somebody's father or whatever. And
Okay.
he was a legit African and his name was Dave. So then we started calling Tony African Dave.
I
And it stuck. But
love it.
yeah, that's the great shit about it. That's the beauty of it. It's like those opportunities are like you get to make new memories while reminiscing and living in the other ones. And it's
Totally.
like they're actually happening. That's like the good. That's the other side of PTSD, I guess. Or like,
Totally.
yeah,
Yeah,
because you can
totally.
talk about that inside joke. We can
Hit the
talk
road.
about the icings of Myrtle Beach
Yeah.
and and Florida, all we and it'll feel like we're actually It'll feel like it's actually happening.
Right. Right.
Like I can go up to any one of them and call them a beautiful piece of shit, and they know what time it is.
Right. Right. Right.
It's like oh how's the weather? It's 19 and beautiful from here, and like that's a reference to like checking out girls from the balcony at the
Oh
pool.
God.
That
That's
was
so
in
funny.
yeah, that was in Myrtle Beach or whatever. It was
Yeah,
like
the weather report. Yeah.
yeah, it's like oh like it's like oh it's yeah, it's 19 and beautiful from here. Or it was like how
Oh
old do you
boy.
think she looks? Fucking 19 and beautiful from here.
Well, now that we're older men,
Ah, dude, it makes me feel so creepy. I feel like such a perv all the time. Especially when I've gone a good amount of time without being sexed properly. It's
oh
just like
boy.
I feel like an animal. Like, oh, like look at her with her in her capris with her calf out, man. Like she knows
You
what
are
she's
an
doing.
animal. Yeah, her calf. Oh my gosh, you could see her knee.
Yeah, right. Ah, she can get it.
What a hussy.
Right. You fucking harlot. Tempting me like that. Go put some clothes on.
Oh
Have
boy.
some pride.
Yeah.
I
Have some
haven't got any.
self-esteem. Well, I got to get
Ah,
going, buddy. I got to play a gig here in a little bit.
all right on. Where you playing?
I'm playing in Superior for a Porch Fest. I'm playing at somebody's porch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's a cool concept. I love
it is
that.
cool. Nice afternoon show. So it's one. I'm gonna get my stuff ready. I think I might try and learn a Tina Turner. I want to cover Tina Turner. What's
Oh,
love got to do with it? I think that'd
yeah,
be so
that's a great one.
fun. I think it'd be a cool cover.
I love Proud Mary.
Proud Mary. Well, oh my gosh. Well, she kills that song. Who
Yeah.
originally wrote that song? That's an old
It might
blues
be
thing.
Credence. Ah, sorry, man. I was gonna try and hold it until we wrapped, but I
We're gonna
couldn't.
rap right now.
Yeah, yeah. But that fucking Tina Turner thing.
Tina Turner and Aretha Franklin. I want to do the. Do you know the Aretha Franklin song "I Love You"?
I'm sure I've heard it. I can't hear it right now though.
Listen to it sometime, and I think that'd be a really cool full band like blues cover,
Ooh,
like
okay.
R&B blues cover.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is R&B, but for like a guy to do with a man voice rather than Aretha Franklin's perfect, incredible voice.
Yeah. Put your own fucking spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like the Tina Turner Proud Mary version.
Proud Mary. Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
because it's different.
he almost
Like,
does it like lounge style. It's almost
yeah,
like big band lounge version of it,
right.
like
And
Sister Act version.
yeah, yeah, and it's totally intimate. Like she walks you into it.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh, damn. I'm gonna listen to that too. Maybe I should learn some more.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
I don't know.
it's
I'm
like I
trying to
know.
expand my repertoire. So I want to write a
Yeah.
new album this year, and I've been trying, and it's hard. So.
You're having trouble finding things to write about or
No, it's not
formulating
that.
them, finding the words to them?
I have so many great song concepts, but every song I start and finish, it's not it's not bad. The songs aren't bad. It's just not the sound I'm looking for. I'm looking for a new. I want to write like an R&B album. I want to write
Yeah.
more of an upbeat. I want to write a summertime album. I've never done it before because I've
Ah,
been kind of more morose songs, some upbeat songs like
yeah.
Romance upbeat and all that stuff, but
Yeah.
they're more like
Trying to
chiller.
trying to Kid Rock it. Sweet Home Alabama all
Man,
summer long.
I'm trying to be Kid Rock.
That's the goal, man. He's got a golden toilet. That's where
Jesus.
you want to be.
Well, he has a golden shower.
Yeah, yeah, this whole bathroom is golden.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
So, right on, buddy. Well, good chatting, man. I'm sorry for your loss, but it's healthy. It's good to talk about this stuff. It helps me deal with my grieving too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I hope it helps all 49 of you if you've ever
Whoever made it this far.
yeah, yeah. If you've stuck with us this long, thank you.
Well, we'll do this
And
soon too, man.
right
It's
on.
more fun to do them. It's nice to do big chunks and then take a break and then big chunks and take a break.
Yeah, yeah. I got a lot of guests in mind. We really got to do it. We've had guests in mind for a long
I'm
time, but
ready, and don't ever feel like you have to wait on me. If you got somebody that's ready to do one, do it. It's totally cool.
all right on.
I
And
do like meeting the people though, so don't,
yeah, yeah. And
definitely give me a chance. But
yeah, yeah, you ground me. Like I never thought like you're like the straight man of this fucking duo. Like
isn't that
you
something?
I know. I never thought that I would be the fucking wild card in anything.
Yeah,
Like
what the hell?
yeah, how did we just fucking body swapped?
Right on, buddy.
All right,
All
man.
right, bro. I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Namaste,
Very well.
bitches.
Peace.
You are so odd.